What's up, YouTube? Nope. What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Zatima, Season 1, Episode 2. Episode titled Water Under the Bridge, you guys. So, before we go ahead and just jump into this episode of Zatima, be sure, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other on my channel and you guys aren't subscribed, you guys stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know that routine. Do me that favor by liking this video, you guys. That really helps me. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications, and share the video, guys. But most importantly, like the video. So before we go, so with that out the way, you guys, without further ado, let's discuss episode 2 of Zatima, shall we? All right, you guys, so I can tell you right now, this episode review is going to be fairly short because in this episode we had a whole lot of repetitive dialogue. So I'm going to sum it all up and we're going to talk about it. So this episode picked up where we last left off in episode 1. Remember, I told you in episode 1 that Zach opened the door to Belinda, slammed the door in Belinda's face, but then eventually let Belinda in. And come to find out, Zach and Belinda have had sex in the past, right? So it was so awkward at first, and they were like, "Ooh." So what happened is, now mind you, Belinda is saying, "This can't be the nigga that you've been telling me about. This nigga ain't shit." So Belinda sounds like who? Karen. So at one point, Zach and Bryce were inside the house, and Belinda, Angela, and Fatima went outside, right? So we get the backstory of what happened between Belinda and Zach, right? So Belinda and Zach met about 2 years ago, and I was like, oh, 2 years ago. So that means he was still in a relationship with Karen at the time. So what happened is Belinda met Zach she was coming back from on a flight to Atlanta, and she met Zach at the airport, and they talked to each other, and they had sex with each other, right? So Belinda says that Zach blew her off, and she went down to Karen's salon, and she told Karen everything, and that's where Karen told her that Zach ain't shit. I was like, so you found out that the man you had because it was a one night stand. So you had a one night stand with him. The sex was good, okay, I give you that. The sex was good. You want it again. I'm not gonna sit here and be upset about that, right? But when he ghosted you and you found out he had a girlfriend, why did you feel the need to go tell his girlfriend what happened? I would have just left it alone. I'm like, oh, okay. You really are an ain't shit nigga, right? But you went and talked to his girlfriend. Okay, the issue that I have with her doing that is the fact that she said he blew her off. If somebody blows you off, let that be. I'm not gonna go chasing after you. Let that shit be, right? So Zach is talking to Bryce, right? Bryce is like, why don't you go out there and talk to him? He's like, absolutely not. And to say, no, I'm not going out there. Like, absolutely. And I really didn't blame Zach for not wanting to go outside and confront that situation. Zach didn't care. So eventually they all came back inside and they sat down at the dinner table, and I was like, so we're not gonna address what literally just happened 5 minutes ago? The fact that Fatima, your best friend, smashed your boyfriend. Now granted, you didn't know about it, right? You didn't know nothing about this, and this is pre you. But you don't have no questions. Like, my biggest question would be for Zach is this a pattern, right? Because we know about Heather. You allegedly slept with Heather when you were with Karen. Like, I wouldn't even really be questioning Belinda. Like, you didn't tell me about it. Well, scratch that. I wouldn't have an issue with Belinda. And I really wouldn't have an issue with Zach because, number one, I'd be like, you know what, that was before me. But I would say that Zach, this does seem like a trend, right? Because you cheated on Karen. It seems like you just cheated on Karen ad nauseum. Like, you really cheated on Karen. What was the issue between, like, why did you cheat on Karen? Why did you cheat on Karen so much? Why didn't you just break off the relationship with Karen? That is my question. That would be my only question is why. I'm like, I don't care that you and my homegirl, my best friend, had sex, right? I don't give a fuck about that. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That was before me. But you have a pattern of cheating. And don't sit here and blame Karen. It's something within you that you kept cheating on Karen. Why? And is that something that I have to worry about and deal with? Like, that would be my main question to Zach. But they glossed over it, right? So then at one point Angela was talking about, about Bryce. And she's like, oh yeah, babe, she doesn't like your boss. He's like, really? He's a good guy. Fatima was like, do you know him outside of work? He's like, not really. She's like, yeah, he's not a good guy. She's like, maybe you should give him the benefit of the doubt. She was like, huh? And Belinda was like, yeah, like how you gave this no good nigga the benefit of the doubt. I was like, oh God. And it went to hell from there. I want to pause here and let's move forward. So yeah, all hell broke loose after Belinda said, yeah, give him a chance the same way you gave Zach a chance, right? There is a huge difference between Zach and Gary. Gary is controlling and abusive. Zach is just a cheater. Neither one of those are great qualities to have, and neither one of those are qualities in which I would want to date someone, but I can't give nobody a chance. Well, you know what? Gary's a cheater as well. So, you know what? I guess I guess I kind of have to give it to Belinda. You know what? I got to give it to Belinda because Belinda might have made a valid point, right? Zach might not be abusive, but Zach is, if you look at Zach on paper, right? If you look at Zach on paper and you'd be like, God, oh, okay, so he was with his girlfriend for 3 years. Okay. Oh, he cheated on her 2 years in a row. Oh, he cheated. Oh, God. Oh, baby. Oh, disease. Like, you would look at Zach on paper. Belinda's right. Zach ain't shit. And then you look at Gary on paper, baby. Gary definitely ain't shit. You look at Gary in person. Gary definitely ain't shit, right? You look at Gary's actions, he ain't shit. And I think that's what differentiates Zach. That's what's, I think, in a lot of people's minds, the way that Tyler has written Sisters and now this show. You look at Zach. Zach was a fuck up, right? But when Zach got with Fatima, who, poured positivity in him, that's when he started to flourish, right? And y'all know how I feel about don't raise a man, don't put so much into a man, right? Y'all know how I feel about that. So like I said, I gotta give it to Belinda. Belinda was right, but Zach got pissed off and blew up on Belinda. So Zach told us what happened, right? So Zach says, yes, she and I met 2 years ago, right? But Karen and I weren't together at the time. Me and her, we had sex one time. She blew my phone up. I ignored her. Then her hood rat ass went down to Karen's salon and told Karen, mind you guys, she still goes to Karen and gets her hair done. I was like, girl, really? Okay. So Zach blew up at her. And like I was just saying a minute ago, I see where Belinda's coming from. I do see it, right? Because like I said, on paper, Zach and Gary are the same person minus abusiveness, right? So Zach is not an ideal candidate for to be in a relationship with. So I got Belinda's point, but I also see Zach's side. Again, Zach says that he and Karen they were not together at the time. So I'm taking it to mean that they were not in a good place in their relationship, but still, like I said, you obviously went back to Karen at some point. Like, I can't defend, as much as I like Zach, I can't defend Zach. I really can't, you guys. But he blew up and he eventually left, and Bryce chasing behind, falling behind him. I want to pause here and I want to move forward, you guys. So Zach eventually went back home, and Fatima was like, I'm not mad, that was before me, so it's not something that I can't do anything about it, right? She says, I did know about you because she did tell us about you, but she never said who the guy was. She just told us about the guy. So she says, and I'm not concerned about that. All I'm concerned about is how you treat me. And I was like, amen, Fatima. So they get ready for bed. She asked him, so Zach, how many more women I gotta worry about? Is it 10, 75? He was like, 75. She's like, I wanna know, Zach. You like, guess. He's like, so you wanna know everybody that I had sex with from the age of 15? She's like, yes. I was like, exactly. Zach, you gotta check it past, my buddy. So he asked her about her. She was like, up, I'm going to bed. So then the next morning we see Fatima as she's getting ready for work. So she tells Zach, like, hey, be home by 6 tonight. He's like, for what? She was like, it's DNA test time, right? So then Bryce calls Zach after Fatima left. He says, so did you get a phone call from someone? He said, yeah, I got a phone call from an unknown number. He said, was it a 210 area code or something like that? He said, yeah. He's like, yeah, go ahead and call that number back. He's like, why? He was like, that's the SEC, and that's more specifically someone by the name of Gretchen, right? She wants to, she's going to interview you. So yeah, he calls the number back, and she says she'll be over to his place by noon. So then we see Fatima, she's heading to work. So Angela calls Fatima up, and she's like, hey, so what do you think about Bryce? She's like, I actually did misjudge Bryce. He's a good guy, right? So then she says, when it comes down to Belinda is sorry about that. She's like, girl, Belinda, she drinks before she goes anywhere. I was like, that's not a good thing to do. Why would you drink before going to meet your best friend's boyfriend? That ain't got nothing to do with you. But okay, girlfriend, do you? So she says, I'll stop by there. It's on my way to work. So Fatima does stop by Belinda's place. Once again, we had repetitive dialogue. Belinda apologizes to Fatima. Fatima says, girl, we good. Belinda apologizes. We good. Apologizes. We good, right? So we're good with Belinda and Fatima. And Belinda's like, so you really feeling him? She's like, yeah. She's like, girl, I just don't want you to get hurt. She says, me either. So they move forward, right? So then at the end of the episode, we see Gretchen, right? So Gretchen comes over to Zach's place, right? She's questioning Zach, and Zach is giving her all great answers. He was in prison. He was able to research the market. He researched his company. He was looking at the stocks. He was working for chain breakers. He got the money from chain breakers. When he got the money from chain breakers, he put the money on the stock. At first, the stock tanked, but then he got his money. She's like, basically, she was looking like, how would you know anything about that? I'm like, oh, because he's a black man that's been in prison. Okay, girl, because that's what she was really giving. But she says, cut the bullshit. We know that this senator, the white devil, gave you this stock tip. And so either you can tell me the truth, or I can open up the door and have the FBI come in and arrest you. Now, I do know about insider trading, right? But what Zach did technically wasn't insider. Was it? I have to go look at that. Because Martha Stewart, that's like somebody buying their own. That's like someone buying stock within their own company when they know that when something bad is going to happen, right? I have to go cause I'm a business major, so I do know about insider trading, but I don't necessarily know what Zach did is considered insider trading 100%. It's a form of it, but I don't know. Like Zach is just a civilian, right? So if a civilian says, hey, they're looking at the stock, Zach has no investment in this company. So I'm kind of confused with this whole situation. That's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Subscribe to the channel, you guys. Turn on your post notifications. Share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, you guys. Wear a mask, social distance. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys later. And also, remember to thumbs up the video. All right, you guys. Bye. I'll see you guys later on for... I don't think I'm going to do Married at First Sight this week. So I will be back for Bell Collective, the finale. Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, and Ready to Love. So I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.